Hi there, vinyl community. This is Tom. Back again. Welcome to my channel, Rant District. As I mentioned before, I wanted to start showing some records. 2014 is when I got back into collecting vinyl records, and after having gotten rid of them, a lot of them a long time ago, switching to CDs, blah blah blah. So, in the beginning of April, my girlfriend got me a Audio Technica turntable. And as I put that stereo system together, it was time to start getting some vinyl. So, my tastes are primarily rock, punk. Uh, I like a lot of things. I like old school country, a lot of old school rap, blues, kind of all over the place. Primarily rock. If you had to say one thing, rock and roll, and punk is rock and roll to me as well. So where do you start? You're starting to build a record collection. What are the building blocks? I guess I should backtrack for a second. As far as my collecting habits for vinyl, my preferences, I prefer LPs. I have 10-inch and 7-inch EPs and singles. But my preference is LPs. I look at an album, an LP as a story a lot of times. It's a journey from start to beginning. One of my dogs is barking. There must be terrorists outside. Sorry for that. So again, I prefer LPs. I don't have any problem with terrorists or reissues. Reissues to me are fine as long as it's a good quality pressing, and as long as the reissue is true to the original. I don't want the songs rearranged. I don't want the songs to be, redone. I guess that's a better way to put it. Remastering is fine, especially if you're tightening things or sorting it out. I think we're being invaded. But I like the, I want the original version. Essentially, it doesn't have to be the original copy of a record, when it first came out, but I want it the way it was originally recorded. With a lot of records too, like the UK version. If it was a UK band, if that came out in the UK originally and then was re-released in the United States, but they had to market it differently in the United States, so they moved songs around or added a track or deleted some. I don't want that. I want it the way that it was first intended. Debut LPs, are really the kind of thing I look at. I like the debuts. If especially with a younger band, because you don't know as a band if you're going to have a chance to make a second record. So you're pouring everything you have into this first record. So you especially if you're younger, you've got this creativity in you. You're building everything up. You're not at the point in your career where you're on a record contract. You have a schedule to put out records, and the quality's not as important. You've built up the creativity. You've got exactly what you want to do, and you think you only have one shot, and a lot of times you only have one shot at making a great record, or else you're not going to be asked to do one again or allowed to do one again or what have you. So debuts and LPs are kind of what I look at. All that babbling aside, let me start showing some records. I've got 10 records. 10 of the first ones that I got towards the beginning of 2014, and after getting a turntable in April. So starting with some rock and roll. This is Little Richard's. Here's Little Richard. It's a 2014 reissue. I think this came out in 1957 originally. There's the backside. It's a reissue on Specialty Records. It's on black vinyl. I'll give you a peek at the label here. You go there and whoop, right there. It's a very fun album. He's so unique. What do we got in here? Tutti Frutti, Ready Teddy, Long Tall Sally, which is kind of interesting too, because I know there was just a Record Store Day Black Friday release of the Beatles doing that song as well. I'm not even sure Long Tall Sally is original by Little Richard. It may be. I don't know. And Jenny Jenny is on here too. So Little Richard's debut album, Here's Little Richard, originally released in 1957-ish. And this is the reissue from 2014. Next up, debut album from The Smiths. Again, it's a reissue. The record came out in 84, and this is a 2014 reissue. Here's the back side. Closer look at some of the songs on there. It is... Oh, here's the inner sleeve, has lyrics on it. Morrissey, Johnny Marr and all. And there you go, The Smiths on... What is it? Let's see here. Oh, it's a Rhino Records re-release. Rhino does, in my opinion, they do good stuff. It's 180 gram, feels like 180 gram. I've generally been happy. I don't have a whole lot of depth in Rhino's reissues, but they seem to do good stuff. Some great songs on here. Pretty Girls Make Graves, The Hands That Rocks a Cradle, Hand in Glove, and What Difference Does It Make is probably my favorite song on this album. So, The Smiths' debut album, although this is the reissue from 1984. Next up is the debut album of probably one of my favorite bands, The Clash. It's self-titled. It's called The Clash. From the album's originally from 1977, and again, saving money, but it's a reissue from recently, 2013, I believe it is. A little closer look there. It's on Epic Records, 180 gram heavyweight vinyl, and let's see, inner sleeve is kind of pretty heavy duty. It's got lyrics on both sides, and it's on the Epic label right there. Again, this is the reissue. And as you can tell, if a record doesn't come in a plastic poly sleeve, I find one and I put it in a plastic sleeve just so it's not getting scratched going in and out. And I generally at least brush the record before playing it, and then give it a little brush after playing it. I think Matt might add some dust, but I try to make sure it's clean before it goes back in the sleeve, and it's anti-static sleeve and blah blah blah. Just trying to take care of it. Next, this is again a debut LP. Almost all of these I'm going to show today are debuts. This is Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. I really love the sound of Joy Division and early Bauhaus, the whole gothic, haunting, moody sound, especially from when I was younger. I like the introspective stuff, the stuff that you can just, drink heavily to and just kind of lose yourself in your thoughts. It is kind of moody. I never drink when I'm depressed, so not like it sends me off, and here's the backside. Really not a whole lot to the backside. It's on 180 grams. Rhino Records again. This came out in the mid-2000s. And let's see, it came in a poly sleeve, and I took it out and I put it in a poly sleeve. That was wasteful. I'll have to fix that. There's kind of what the label looks like. And then a little bit of a track listing there. She's Lost Control. It's probably my favorite song on that. And kind of a weird, moody little doorway thing going on there. Would have been interesting to see how Joy Division would have continued as Joy Division had Ian Curtis stuck around. Next up, Never Mind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Again, it's another debut LP. Um, Debut and their last LP. It didn't last very long. Let's see. Came out in '77. This is a reissue from 2008. Here's the backside. You see EMI in the middle there. You know, from there, they had to dust up with EMI. I don't think they know if they ever really recorded with EMI. Kind of a funny song. Rhino Records, 180 gram. Let's see. Just a plain sleeve in there. And that's what the label looks like. Just, you know, for having just one record, God Save the Queen, EMI, Anarchy in the UK, you know, Pretty Vacant is probably my favorite song on there. You know, just really a classic album, great album. And, you know, when you're just looking for building blocks to start a record collection, you know, this is kind of a classic to have, in my opinion. I really enjoy the music. And, you know, continuing with the flavor, I guess a lot of this is tending towards punk. And continue that with the debut of by the Ramones, called Ramones. This is Rhino reissue. I don't know, maybe Amazon just keeps on recommending Rhino to me because I've bought so many of them. 180 gram. Originally came out in 1977. Front side. Here's the back side. Maybe a little closer look at that. Let's see, what do we got? Blitzkrieg Bop. Beat on the Brat. Judy is a punk. Now I want to sniff some glue. 53rd and 3rd. I don't want to walk around with you. Just great song after great song. Here's the inner sleeve. Front side. You got lyrics on the back side. And again, you know, if you're looking for something to build on, if you're starting a record collection, you know, Ramones, first album. I mean, you know, it's just so nice hearing where a band is coming from, you know. Where they started, and, you know, not knowing that they can go any further, you know, giving it their best shot, you know, pretty much. Great stuff. Moving on to, I would call it soul. It could be funk. But Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Not a debut album, probably his 10th or 11th, somewhere around there. From 1971, I believe. It is a gatefold. This is a reissue, of course. Not of course, but it's a reissue. Got lyrics in there, some interesting notes, and here's a backside. Besides What's Going On, it's a really, you know, I guess, how would you say, a socially conscious record. Stuff in here about, you know, coming back from the Vietnam War, singing about poverty, singing about drugs, you know, drug abuse, I should say. Very kind of a heartfelt record. It's, I would call it soul. Probably, you know, a lot of the songs have sort of a religious touch to it. Maybe in the song titles, you know, we were looking at God is Love, Mercy, Mercy Me, Holy, Holy. The song titles, I guess, to me are probably more religious than the songs are. The songs are more from the heart than from religion. Really good stuff here. Let's take a look at the, again, poly inner sleeve, and I replaced it with a, you know, plastic sleeve. I don't know what I was thinking there. I got to fix that. And what do we have there? Motown Records originally. Again, this is a reissue. Tamla. I think Tamla also did the reissue. I think. Good stuff. Getting back into punk. This is Pebbles, Volume 1. Pebbles is not a band. It's there's probably like about, this is Volume 1 of Pebbles. There's probably like 25 to 30 of them. Not all punk, but I think it gives like a sort of unknown bands that are of the John, like this is about punk. I think they do some psych and some blues stuff on other records, but it's kind of like where the beginnings are coming from. It has some unknown bands, very independent feel to what's on there. I gotta get some more of their stuff, but this is just punk. Here's what the back looks like. Lists all the bands. Some of these bands I've just never heard of. I might not have heard of any of them prior to getting this. Let's see, The Letter, The Preachers, the Floyd Dackel Combo, The Outcasts, The Squires, The Grains of Sand, The Jujus, The Haunted. Something about the word the. The Soup Greens, The Wig, Positively 13 O'Clock, Kim Fowley, The Elastic Band, The Split Ends, ENDS, not ENZ, The Shadows of Night, and The Wild Nights. It's Pebbles. It's a compilation, clearly, on BFD Records. This originally came out in 1979, and it's a recent reissue, probably mid-2000s, I'm guessing. I've got 2 more records here, and this is going to shift to rap. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. Kind of again, if you're looking for a building block, this was probably unlike any other rap album that had come out at the time. This is 1987. It's a reissue on some record label, I don't recall who. 180 gram, heavy duty. 4th and Broadway. Black vinyl, Eric B. and Rakim. Paid in Full is the classic song, but it's got such great flow to it, and the style. I don't know, it's just old school, and it flows well. It's pleasing to the ears. And they, Paid in Full, really, that song, there's the, I forget what it's called. There's a UK mix of it where Afra Haza drops in. The song opens with "This is a journey into sound." I've got that on a 7-inch reissue, that version. The album is still just great. Eric B. and Rakim, highly recommended. The last one I'm going to show today is Slick Rick. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Again, rap from 88. This is a reissue on Def Jam. It's probably 180 gram. Here's a look at the back. And let's see, we got the Def Jam label right there. And the original inner sleeve, this says Def Jam Recordings, classic label, Def Jam. And again, old school rap, but like the twist for me, the hook for me with Slick Rick is it's just telling a story in each song, and it's some of it's kind of simplistic. The Children's Story is probably my favorite song on here. What do we got? Let's Get Crazy, Indian Girl, Teenage Love, Mona Lisa, Teacher. Children's Story is the iconic song that you might know. I really love that song. The last song on it is called Lick the Balls. Coincidentally, if you ever have to call DirecTV and go through their phone tree, and let me just say, I've had DirecTV for ages. They're fantastic people once you get somebody on the line. But like any large company, they have this tremendous phone tree. But as soon as you get on there, on that phone call, and you're presented with that phone tree and you're trying to get to a live human, I found that if you just say, it asks for voice prompts. If you say, lick the balls or lick my balls, it doesn't know what you're talking about, and you get a human pretty quickly. And that's probably too much information. Slick Rick. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. So there's 10 albums that kind of started out as building blocks for me. I'll show a few more within the next week. I don't want to make this too long. What are we going on? 20 minutes. Crap, that's longer than I wanted. Let me get out of here. Ciao. Thanks for watching.